It is taking me more than a year to respond to your review because I simply didn't see it. I don't spend a lot of time on Yelp. I'm looking at the review on Yelp. I didn't really honestly think much of it because I figure, there's always going to be some people that love you and some that don't. And I just suppose you're one of those ones that don't. But I'll take it subject by subject. Okay, you indicated that when you got to the salon, the door was locked. Well, if you're talking about the location down on Elliott, of course it was locked. For my safety, it was locked. And it was a work-live loft, which means those were homes and businesses. And I felt more comfortable being in that location, pretty much any location, with the door locked. We're living in times today where maybe you don't want to be safe, but I do. If you've been working in a restaurant, you don't have to so much worry about being safe because you have a lot of people working there, a lot of people coming to get their meals there. But a salon is different. You might have just one person doing hair and just one person coming in to get their hair done. And you said you came from Spanaway, or I'm thinking that's pretty close to Tacoma or on the other side of Tacoma. But check this out. You couldn't have traveled all the way from Tacoma, passing all of Tacoma, all of Auburn and Federal Way, all of Kent and Renton, and could not find a stylist on the way. So you traveled pretty far, passing up a lot of hairstylists just to get to this person that you criticize so strongly. And I'm just trying to take it little bit by little bit here. You said I had poor customer service, and I was trying to tell you where to park. We're down on Elliott, where you could have been towed. Your car could have been basically taken from you and put in a location where you would have had to pay a couple $100s to pick it up. So yes, I was adamant about that not happening to you because at the end of the day, I want to be paid for my service, and I want to be able to pay the person that helped me do that service. As far as me seeing your message, it was impossible not to see it. So, in my opinion, it couldn't have been too private if you're sitting there. I'm standing behind you. And I did get the sense that you had an issue with me sitting there. I do remember you. And I also remember that you go to school way up north. And from what I understood at that point, you indicated that you have driven from way up north. And I can understand you saying that you come from Spanaway, I guess to try to throw me off that it wasn't you. But I know who you are about the things that you said, because you're the only person that I can remember that I had an issue with the parking, trying to explain to you where you should park, and the free parking that we had in the neighborhood, and the safe parking that we had. And it seemed like to me you had an issue with trusting if I was giving you proper information, correct information, until you went down and found the fellas at the at a parking lot. I can't remember the name of the parking lot. It's been a long time since I've been down there. But you seem to have more faith in these fellas to watch your car, which is not a bad thing, but it's almost a mile away from where I was. That was half a mile. And I thought that was more unsafe than parking right in the neighborhood where you could get free parking up on the hill near where I actually lived and had a salon, a work-live loft. So I was kind of worried for your safety, but I figured if you wasn't worried about it, go ahead. But me, I'm a mace carrying type of person, and I don't want to have to pull my mace if I don't have to. So I thought it would be better for you to park closer to where we were than have to walk. There's a lot of homeless camps nowadays. And what you don't know about the area is, even though, I feel like it looks safe, a woman was killed in that neighborhood. She was killed not very far from where we were located. And it was due to some homeless guy decided to just take her life. I had someone, she wasn't a student, she was working with me, and I'm a perfectionist. So I feel very insulted when somebody spends time. I pay them to learn on mannequins, and then they get on someone's head and does something totally opposite of what I would want to pay for if it was me getting my hair done. And for you to judge that situation, you really don't know what I was going through. For somebody to come and work with me for several weeks and not really get any better, it irritates me. Because I feel like I'm spending the money for them to learn on a mannequin so that by the time they get on your head, they're doing a really good job. She was not. And it's very seldom that I could get her to focus on what we were doing and why it had to be so good, because there are so many other places that you could have gone to. There's many other places that you could have gone to where you could get a good braid job. But you came to us because you were looking for something extra. As far as the tip, when that girl left every day, she needed bus fare. And while she was there working, she needed lunch and possibly dinner. And I'm paying, and when I pay, if I have an employee, I would pay weekly or bi-weekly. So that means in between time, there's a lapse of income. So when I looked to her and told her that there was no tip, that had nothing to do with you. I'm telling her she's not getting a tip today, nor am I. So she doesn't have to be concerned about any extras that might be coming that I might be able to give to her so that she can do whatever extras that she may have going on in her life. So her communication, just like you said I was in your business on your phone, now you're in my business communicating with this young lady. And I was telling her directly, no tip. We didn't get a tip today. Period. You didn't want to leave a tip? You didn't have to leave a tip. If you left a tip, I don't even remember if you left a tip. Good. Thank you. We appreciate you. And the girls that work with me appreciate you the most, because that allows them to do something extra. Like actually maybe even take Uber or a cab to downtown when they stay late, or buy cigarettes, or buy lunch or dinner. And yes, I probably did indicate that we had change. You didn't have to, pay us and then run down the street for change. We had change. And that's why I said, what, you think we don't have change? You think we don't have money? We have some. We can at least break some bills if needed, so that if you are planning to tip us, you can do that. But, I want to say something. People will talk about Black Lives Matter. And you had the nerve to say you weren't going so far to look for a black hairstylist. Let me tell you something. Black lives matter when economics matter. And you folks that think it's okay to put these reviews out online and destroy people's lives and their livelihood, I think it's ridiculous that this system even exists, because in the real world, when you want to tell somebody something, you should be emailing them and telling them how you feel. And if you feel that I'm too loud to sit under to get your hair done, you did the right thing. You stopped coming here. But I'm a singer. And I'm always going to be a singer. And I've been trained since I was a little girl to be a singer. And the program that I am in right now is music. And you can't shut this voice down. No one can. When it's time for me to record something, I'm going to do it so loud and so proud. And I'm not coming to ask you to buy anything from me, because you barely wanted to buy something from me in the first place. And when you came into my place, I to be honest with you, I must have been responding to the feeling you brought in with you. So if you're saying that I'm rude, it must have been something, some attitude that you brought with you that I was uncomfortable with. I can only apologize for that. But really, if somebody's that uncomfortable with me, generally they'll go on about their business and go spend their money somewhere else. I like people to come and spend their money because they know that I am a perfectionist and I care about what their hair is going to look like when they leave. And I don't want an employee to come and do any less than that. That's why she ain't working for me. She made me really, really irritated. And it was inevitable that we were not going to be working together for a long period of time. Because one, you have to remember what you learn and you have to apply that. So please, with the comments that you made, I'm trying to wrap my finger around it. And I was trying to be professional for you and think about your safety and think about, basically I'm the type of person that I would have actually walked you to your car, but I'm not going to be walking a half a mile to your car. And then you seem like the type, after I walked you to your car, you'd get in your car and ride off, and I'd be walking back. That's what you remind me of.